Little Billy One Shoe wandered into town. All the children laughed and it made Billy frown. Susie Sarah Jones said, leave Billy alone. Billy's gonna be a king one day when he is grown. Ooh, go on, Billy. Howdy y'all, Tom from Blakgraz here. Welcome to Guitar N Gab. That is Little Billy One Shoe, one of my songs, Blakgraz songs. And this is Betty, my custom build Strat body Sunburst. Betty is my D-sharp guitar, and that song was written on this particular guitar. So in this video, we're going to talk about the harsh reality of touring as a full-time professional musician making your living playing originals all around the country. The harsh reality is, let's get to it. Howdy y'all, Tom from Blakgraz here. Hey, before we get started on this video, I want to give a shout out to my friends in West Wind Restaurant, the Sky Lounge in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. Real dear friends of ours. They've had me play a few times, but like a lot of the places that we play at, we've become really good friends too. So Dave and Tammy, I hope y'all see this. And we miss you, we miss the elk burgers, and we miss Tammy's concoctions. So in this video, I want to talk about basically what the harsh reality of being on tour really is. The harsh reality of being on tour is you better love it, because if you don't, you will never last. The harsh reality is that you're on your own. Nobody really cares what's going on in your life. But you know, that's no different than regular life. Even if you had a job in an apartment and you were just working full-time and staying in the same town, nobody really cares what's going on in your life. They care about what's going on in their lives. So the harsh reality of when you go out on the road and you think you're going to become a big star is that it takes time and effort and focus, and it's hard work. It is its own full-time job, except that you're the owner. And so like any owner of any new business, you're putting in 180 hours a week with very little sleep and sometimes very little food. So you got to really, really love it. Now, the good news for me is that because I'm dealing basically in a show that has all original songs that's written by me, I love every second of it. In fact, for all the years that I've played music and been paid for it, and even before, and all the times I've played music and didn't get paid for it, I've always loved everything about it. Even when I was little and I would go to church early so that I could sing in choir at each of the masses. I didn't get paid for that. I just loved it. I would get up early and run down by myself in Sunday clothes down to the church, and I would go and sing in the choir. And I was a high tenor because I was young, and so I could hit those high notes. And that's where I learned to use my falsetto really, really well. And then even once in a while, they'd have rehearsals for new hymns we were going to sing. And so we would go over to the band leader's house all together. My parents would come and everybody would bring food, and we'd have a rehearsal. And it was just beautiful. The music that we made was beautiful. And it was a kind of a college-oriented church, so they were trying more progressive stuff like having banjo and mandolin and a 12-string guitar and sometimes even drums and bass in the mast as music to kind of get people really going, sort of like that Baptist thing, right? They got the whole band and everybody's really going. Lots of energy. So they allowed that, even though it was a Roman Catholic church. It was for the college students specifically, though, so they got away with more stuff like that. So that was kind of, you know, my first introduction to, okay, well, you got to practice the songs, and you got to come early and warm up, and you got to, you know, make sure you know your parts. and then the performance itself, and you got to be quiet in between because no one could clap, even though you just sang your heart out and it felt really good and everybody enjoyed it. But they don't clap for you. It's church, right? You don't clap for the choir, although you probably should. But anyway,
and then you'd sneak in.
Oh yeah, well that was when I was older, just before I went on the road, and I would be out drinking late at night uptown, and I would sneak into the church in the middle of the night after a late night of drinking, and I would play on the piano quietly in the church because it had this incredible reverb. It was this incredible, big, spacious building with just this beautiful piano, and I would just quietly play, and it was like very meditative, and it brought me a lot of solace in what was at that time kind of a difficult time. And so music has always done that for me. Music has always been someplace I could go to help myself feel better if things are not going the way I hoped they would, or things, even when things are going great, sometimes I still turn to music because then I just want to celebrate it. So what I've learned though along the way is then I went on the road with the show band, and then I joined some other bands, and then I went out west, and I came back in lots of different types of bands, and then went out west again, did big tributes, and now I'm on the road doing all original since we moved to Texas. And what I learned along the way is that I love every element of being in the music industry. Now, I'm not a big fan of labels and how they basically, everybody rapes the artists, the managers, the producers' managers. I didn't even know that was a thing until Rick Beato brought it up. And the radio stations and the marketing, and everybody gets their cut except the artist. And even now, this whole thing with Spotify, it came in anyway. This whole thing with Spotify, they're doing it even more to the artists. They're stealing from the artists even more, as if the rest of the industry hasn't taken enough from the artists, right? Am I a huge fan of Spotify? No, I am not. And now apparently they're doing some really shady stuff, and it's just like, you know what, you're going to get that. That's going to come back to you. It's going to come back to you, because you're not the first one to come along and that could just easily disappear too. Everybody thought that mp3.com would be around forever. Everybody thought that Napster would be around forever. Everybody thought that Twitter would be around forever. All it takes is a sea change of people moving in a different direction. If you piss them off enough, guess what? Somebody else will supply the demand. So basically, without going into that too much, there isn't any part of touring that I don't love. And I say that knowing full well that in a lot of the videos, I complained about getting underneath Rufus and working on him. But to be honest with you, as challenging as those moments were, they have opened my eyes in a new and very deep way to the vital role that transportation plays in the music industry. And I mean for any band, any project. Your car is important, right? But do you know actually how to fix it? Do you actually know how to maintain it? Well, if you're driving a camper down the road, it's magnified 100 or 1,000 times. Because now not only do you have to be safe for your own safety and your equipment safety, and of course everything that you're carrying in your rolling house, but now you are a hazard because of your size. And so you have to be extremely cautious and considerate of everybody around you, despite them being dorks and cutting in front of you, or not letting you get over when you need to get over. It's amazing how people driving cars pretend that this is not a hazard. This camper is huge and does not slow down quickly, and he does not speed up quickly. He does not take turns quickly. He doesn't do anything quickly. Everything takes 10 times longer than a car. And people get impatient, so they get in front of you and slam on their brakes because they just wanted to be in front of you. Well, now you've just cut off the braking period, right? You have created a larger hazard because you took away my safety zone. But that's a whole different thing. I love that too. And one of the reasons I love that is because the slower pace. We're always leaving early. We're always planning further ahead, days in advance or the day in advance to get to where we need to go. What do we need to do on the way there? It's a much slower pace. I mean, even when I used to drive my car to shows, I loved the drive. It's quiet. I'd listen to music. I'd take some food with me. You drive across the country and you see the beautiful countryside. I mean, if you haven't been to America and you're watching this video from another country, America is huge. It is, I mean, you could fit Europe in Texas, right?
Several of them, almost, I think.
It's amazing how big just Texas is. Well, the whole country is even bigger than that. I mean, imagine driving across, the Russian continent, right? Or driving across, I mean, it's
Africa,
extraordinary.
north to south.
Or Africa, north to south. Holy cow, big pieces of land. And you don't know a piece of land until you've walked it. So driving doesn't count. You got to get out and you got to touch the dirt and you got to smell the air and you got to walk around and see what kind of plants are around. So that's one of the things that we do. We always like to go for walks, or I'll try and do runs. You haven't really been someplace until you've been and touched it. You can't just be in a car driving by it and say, yeah, I went through, Chattanooga, Tennessee. No, you got to touch it. You got to get out and you got to see it. But that's one of the things I loved about playing music too, was that it got me out into those big spaces, the big long drives on the highways and all the little towns in between, the small gas stations and the diners and the restaurants and the convenience stores and the grocery stores. And now, of course, all of the, the places, the truck stops that we hit and all the different places that we go and do laundry, or the places that we go and get, do RV parks and all the different things that we get to see because of what Rufus requires, right? It's different requirements for him. Or when we get to a venue and we pull up early and just set up camp at the venue outside, and it's like our own personal green room. I love that, all that prep to make that happen. Then all the prep to make sure that the gear is working, changing the strings, polishing the guitars, making sure we have picks, making sure I have batteries, making sure that all the gear works, that it's clean, that it doesn't look beat up and gross, because if it's dirty and broken down, it's probably going to start falling apart, and not functioning properly. So I'm a big fan of making sure that that stuff is in order, that the cables are in order, that, Rufus is running smoothly. All the calling and emailing that I do, that's not my favorite thing of all the things to do. My favorite thing is to get on stage and play music. However, I know that that will get me on stage, and so I love it. Plus, I set my own schedule. I set my own schedule for all of this. So if I don't have enough work, it's all on me. I can't blame a label. I can't blame an agent. I can't blame my beautiful wife. I can't blame my road manager, even though she sleeps all day. Which is just hilarious, but it's all on whether I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Then I gotta practice to make sure I can play the songs that I write that I can barely play. But I love that too, because the more I practice, the better I get, and the more I write stuff that challenges me, the better I get, and the more impressive the show is, and the more people enjoy themselves. It's like we did that video not too long ago about you got to care. If you don't care, then they won't care. But if you do care, you'll be amazed how much people will attach to that good energy. People are looking for that. People crave somebody, an artist who really cares about what they're doing. They crave it. And that's why every time we play someplace, inevitably we have people saying, oh man, it was so great to see you play. That was amazing. It was just amazing what you did, and to see you play, and your songs were like the one guy, Kyle, at Almost Ice House. Mm-hmm. You don't have a single song that sucks. He literally yelled that up to me after listening to a whole bunch of my songs. Of course, I joked back with him. I said, you haven't heard them all yet. And according to a few people on YouTube, they might disagree with you. But the cool thing was that he liked it and he had a good time, and he and his wife stayed, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful to meet them and to be able to interact with them and ask what they liked. And he made it real easy. He was just like, I like everything you're doing. So I just kept going. So I love that too, that kind of feedback. Like when owners or venue managers, they as soon as you're done, I ask, what'd you think of the show? Oh man, you were amazing. When can we get you back? Well, that's the best feeling in the world. All the years of practice, all the years of performing and getting better at what I do, all the years of writing all the material and putting the show together, all come down to that one little statement from a fan or from a venue or from an agent even. Man, what you're doing is incredible. I want to work with you. That's what I'm after. I mean, that makes everything else worthwhile. But you can't have that if you don't have everything else. And that's part of why my answer is the harsh reality of touring is you better love all of it, right? If you don't love all of it, you won't last. You'll burn out because you'll think that, you were supposed to be a star already, you're supposed to be famous already, or it's not happening fast enough, or it's not right, or you'll start to feel entitled. I mean, the worst thing you can do too is find success and think that, that you're better than somebody else. I mean, trust me, dude, there are people out there who've been doing it way longer than you and are far superior at whatever it is. Here's a good example. Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix, they're not even alive, and I still can't catch up with them. Frank Zappa, another one, my gosh. I mean, so many famous people who've been doing it longer, right? Or someone like Django Reinhardt, or even Chet Atkins, or Les Paul. I can't even, Roy Clark. I'm still practicing as every day, and I cannot catch up with those guys. I would never ever pretend that I'm as good or better. What I'm trying to do is do what I do, which is what I love. And I love making Blakgraz music, and I love playing Blakgraz music, and I love challenging myself instead of measuring myself against somebody else. I don't want to be them. I want to be me. I want to do what I do. And that's the wonderful thing about actually finally taking the bull by the horns and starting Blakgraz and just going on tour and doing everything ourselves. We get to say what goes, and we get to say what doesn't go. We get to decide where we're going to play, what state we're going to play in, what city we're going to play in, what venue we're going to play at, what price we're going to play at, whether we're going to play this long or that long, or what songs we're going to do, how I want to dress, what time I want to get there. We control everything. And that for a long time, I'm sure that's where a lot of my frustration came from, is that I wanted more control, but I didn't have it because a lot of times the projects weren't mine, and so I wasn't the boss. I was like Bad Brad. I was just kind of a hired gun. So you have to do just whatever they tell you to because, well, they're paying you. And it's not that that's a bad situation if that's what you're after, but I wanted more. I had ideas. I had things I wanted to try. I wanted to see what a crowd would do with a song like Seeking Glory. I wanted to see what a crowd would do with a song like Felt So Good. I wanted to see what a crowd would do with a song like Down at Dave's Place. Would they get into something like that? Would they dance on something like Give Me Love? Would they even listen to For No Longer the Sun? Would people even enjoy that song at all? I wanted to try. And guess what I found? Yeah, there's a lot of people that like all of those things, and they like it all mixed together. I never would have thought that. See, that's something different too. All the years of being in the music industry, I was told forever, you cannot write that many different styles of music. You can't do it. You're going to confuse your audience. They won't know who you are.
Or, people only want to hear covers.
Well, not even just covers, because covers play variety. When you hire a cover rock band, they're going to do a whole bunch of different styles of rock. They're not just going to do certain, and some even rock shows, they'll do rap and they'll do disco because that's what people want to dance to. They'll call it a rock band, but they're still doing disco, or they're still play that funky music, or Get Down Tonight, or Brick House, or they'll go into Nothing But a G thing because it's old school, right? Or they'll go, This Is How We Do It. All those same cover songs for years and decades and decades and decades, over and over and over again, right? But that's a variety of different styles, but they call themselves a cover rock band, right? They just lump it into this, but that's not really what they are. They're actually playing a whole bunch of different variety of stuff. Well, that's exactly how I shaped the Blakgraz show, which is another thing that I love, My original show is shaped the way I wanted, not the way an agent said, not the way a venue said, not the way any label said. It's the way I said. And guess who gave me the feedback? Actual audiences, people watching me play, and I saw them get into this song, so I kept it in the show. The other song they didn't get into as much. I try it for a while, it didn't work. All right, I don't use that one as much. I still love that song. I just won't play it in the show as much. So I love that too. I love that research and the discovery of which styles and which beats catch people's attention the most, right? That's why I wrote that new song, Girly. See, that is a fast, just like Seeking Glory, because I see people get into Seeking Glory. Now I just finished a new song about Alabama, and that's a fast one, and I don't even know what style that is. I think it's kind of like 50s rockabilly, kind of spoken whatever weirdness. It's just weird, right? And I know people are going to get into that because of the beat that's in it, and because of the song that I'm actually thinking of, that I borrowed ideas from. I know it's going to work because I've seen people respond to other stuff like that. So that's another part that I love, is now I'm at a point in my career where when I'm writing something, I can see it in my head. Oh, I know exactly what an audience is going to do with this drum beat, with this bass line, with this guitar part, with these vocals doing this, and answering over here, and helping out with this, and lifting this part. I can see it in my head, what a crowd is going to do with the song. And that is a very exciting place to be at. I love that. But it's only possible because of all of the other elements that got me to this point, right? All the different bands I was in, all the different styles I've played, all the different traveling I've done, all the different work that I've done, all the stuff I've learned on Rufus, all the stuff on my gear, all the stuff on marketing and being able to do these videos and get the word out to folks. I love every part of it. And that is why I know Blakgraz is going to be huge, thanks to folks like you watching to the end of this video. So there you go. That's the harsh reality of touring. Is if you don't like it, if you don't love it, and I should, not like, if you don't love it, really love it, then you won't last. It will eat you up and spit you out.
There's a discipline behind all of it, especially as an original artist versus for hire type of guy.
Oh man, yeah. When you're the original artist, all the pressure's on you. Everybody's looking at you. When's your next hit coming out? What are you going to do next to be big?
How much are you
right?
going to pay me?
How much are you going to pay me? I don't like this venue. I don't like this state. These roads are too bumpy. We didn't get enough sleep last night. Why can't we stop and pee? I need to use the bathroom. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. Wah, right? It's all on you. Right? That's why bigger acts get managers and road managers, so they don't have to listen to all that complaining. Plus, the industry itself. You know, if you're answering to somebody, then they're wondering, hey, where's all these ticket sales? Where's all the merch sales? We were supposed to be making our money back that we gave you so you could go out on tour, right? Or even just in my situation where it's just us, right? If things aren't going well, I've got nobody to turn to except us. All the pressure is on us to get stuff done, to get things taken care of, keep the show going, keep the wheels turning, keep the show, the money flowing through, so that we can keep gas in Rufus and tires on the road. So you have
to love showing up for yourself, and that's what it comes down to. No, you can't. I mean, you could do it doing covers to a degree, but it'll wane on you because people aren't coming out to see you.
No, you can't do it with covers, and I'll tell you why. Even these tribute acts, because the ceiling is so low when you hit it real fast. It doesn't matter how good you get as a tribute. If you sound exactly like Journey or whoever, it doesn't matter. There's still a hard ceiling, and you hit it real fast. And then you're there, and then you're just basically doing the same thing over and over.
The hamster turning the wheel.
Grow. And you know what that's like? And I've done it. That's like playing in a lounge. It's the same thing over and over, and it just sucks the life right out of you. So if you're going to go on tour, cover or original, either way, you better really love it. And you said something real important. You got to show up for yourself. That's a really important point. because nobody on the road is going to discipline you to stay in shape, stay healthy, to be able to practice, to make sure that you've got your gear in order, that you changed your strings, that you got enough rest, that you can sing the high notes.
Did the marketing.
Did the marketing, did the booking, showed up on time. Nobody's going to hold your hand. You're going to have to do that for yourself. That's probably the harshest part. You have to be motivated. You have to be self-motivated and focused and disciplined. Because that's what I mean. If you don't love it, then you won't do those things and you will fall apart. The road is exhausting. Even when you think you have a break, like right now, right? Every single day, there is something else you got to do. Every single day, all day long, from 8 o'clock this morning, probably till 2 o'clock in the morning. Last night, I went to bed at 2. I finally fell asleep at 2. I got up at 7 yesterday and started immediately because we got an email for another booking, which means I got right on the iPad, started creating the promotional piece, the marketing, all of the emails for it, all of the posts for it, all the copy for it, entering it into the calendars, making sure that these were scheduled to go out when they're supposed to go out and answer them. Yeah, there's a lot of work just when I schedule a gig. It's not just about calling out and getting somebody to say yes. Once they say yes, there's a whole laundry list of stuff that has to happen before you can finally move on to the next, finding another show. So if you're not disciplined and you don't really love it, you will not show up for yourself. You will not put in the extra energy. You will not plan ahead, and so it'll all fall apart. And even if you don't drink yourself into a stupor or fall into drug addiction, you will become exhausted, and so your reputation will suffer and people will stop hiring you. If you don't put on the best show you can every single time, the gigs will just slow down.
Meaning you have to care.
Yeah, you have to actually care.
And then the audience will care when they realize how much you care.
And
it's about them having a good time and you performing to your highest optimal for that day, as if whether it's 5 people starting off or 500, doesn't matter.
So whether an audience is consciously aware or not does not matter. They unconsciously will read the energy that you put into a room.
Yep.
And they will respond in kind. So if you put out the I don't care, or I'm not sure, or I don't really want to be here vibe, they will send that right back to you 10 times over. But if you send out the vibe that, yeah, this is it, man, this is what I love doing, and I'm here to do a great job no matter how many people are here, then that is what you'll get back, even if it's just from a couple people watching. I had a place I played, I forget where it was, and there was only a few people in the bar, and one of the people at the bar through Cash App tipped $100 because I put on a full show as if there were 1,000 people there and was only a few people at the bar, and I was rocking it out and talking to them and having a good time and laughing and telling bad jokes and got them laughing and just teasing the bar staff in the restaurant, having a blast. And they tipped $100. It was a lady, because she was so impressed that I just put out everything for the whole time, because that's all I want to do. I mean, there is no other option as far as I'm concerned, especially when it comes to my own songs. And if you don't feel that way too, don't bother going on tour. That's for sure.
Well, I'd say too, it's not just your love of being a musician and standing in front of people. It's your love of music, and yes, it is your own music, but the energy you put out and the reaction, the positive, like the genuine, your intention behind it is for people to feel even just a little bit better. And the audience picks up on that, and that's plays a huge part too. With they see that love and that enjoyment, so they reciprocate it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is always my intention. That's the whole reason that I started being in music at all, even as a little kid. I loved the way it would make me feel at church, the way it sounded, and I could see people enjoying the choir and the way the choir sounded. And in fact, even the people in the choir, you could feel them get louder when the parts got exciting and everything sounded really good. You can feel the energy coming from someone singing next to you, and you feed off of that. You know, so the same thing is true with the live show. If I'm singing and I feel like people are really having a good time, obviously I'm going to feed off of that too. It's a little harder when somebody isn't as outgoing, that they're not dancing around, but if they're sitting at the bar having a good time tapping their hand and they're nodding, that's just as good to me. And yeah, my intention is always for people to just feel a little bit better. You know, I'd love for you to be happy and excited and have a blissful moment, but maybe that's not where you are. But if you feel a little bit better and like you forgot all the bad things in your life for a short time, wonderful, that works too. So, you know, that's a big motivator for me, especially with my writing. I want people to feel good about listening to my music. So anyway, there you go. That's the harsh reality of being on tour. You better love it or it will eat you alive. So I'm Tom from Blakgraz. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe and like this video. It helps us immensely. And we are a two-person and one cat team, so everything is very, very helpful. Comments, watches. If you made it to the end of this video, you're the best as far as we're concerned. Please also check out our links down below. We have CDs for sale and merch for sale. Also, we've got this new thing we're trying out called buymeacoffee.com, and it's buymeacoffee.com/Blakgraz. And we actually are taking donations there, but it's kind of like a Patreon thing where you get kind of extra information behind the scenes, what's going on, an opportunity to talk to us more directly than just through comments on YouTube and things like that. But also do me a huge favor, come out to a show. So check out our live shows. We've got handmade t-shirts as well as emotional support beverage koozies for sale. And at every show, I am happy to shake your hand, look you in the eye, and thank you for all of the support you're giving us. Thanks to everybody that's been helping. And I hope to actually meet you at a show very soon. See y'all next time.
And if we're not in your area, tune in every Tuesday for the acoustic set.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, don't forget, Tuesdays at 8 o'clock Central, we have a live going on YouTube every Tuesday, and it has been a lot of fun. So hopefully I'll see you there too.